So, the manga we're talking about today, you've probably already read the title. And yes, it's going to have those kinds of moments, and that kind of stuff. But as the story progresses, it actually takes a pretty different turn, heading in a new direction to give you some deep thoughts and real-life lessons. It's a pretty wild and fun read, with some seriously crazy scenes. Oh boy, let's dive right in. Enter Molester Man. The story kicks off on November 3rd. We see our guy just casually walking down the street, and there's a girl walking ahead of him. He notices she keeps glancing back, looking pretty freaked out, and then she starts messing with her phone. He figures she's probably scared walking alone at night, maybe thinking a stalker is following her. He thinks to himself, no worries, if anyone shows up, I'll step in and save her like a true gentleman. Suddenly, it starts raining, so he starts jogging. He looks ahead, and the girl is looking back and sprinting now, completely terrified. Now he starts thinking, oh crap, what if there really is a stalker chasing us from behind? So he starts running even faster. Suddenly, the girl screams, help! And he's completely stunned. Wait a minute, does she think I'm the stalker? He realizes this is a huge misunderstanding and thinks he needs to explain he's not following her. He sprints up to her and grabs her shoulder. She immediately starts bawling her eyes out, screaming. He's like, bro, chill. I'm not a stalker. You've got it all wrong. But she just keeps screaming and crying. A crowd quickly gathers, and the whole mess ends up at the police station. Our guy spends most of the time trying to explain the misunderstanding to the cops, yada yada yada. But looking at the girl's terrified reactions, the cops aren't buying his story. Eventually, though, they let him go. Here, we see that the girl who misunderstood him has a friend with her, a guy wearing glasses. Fun fact, in this manga, nobody's real name is revealed. They literally just call this guy Glasses. The girl who got the wrong idea? Her name is literally Misunderstanding. And our main guy, who got mistaken for a stalker, his name in the manga is Literally, that's his name for the whole story. But yeah, I can't keep saying that word because, the YouTube algorithm will nuke me. So for the rest of this video, I'll just call him Mole. You get the idea. We also see another friend of Misunderstanding glaring daggers at Mole. Her name is Kansai. The next day, Misunderstanding meets up with Mole because she finally realized she completely misread the situation. They go to a cafe to talk it out. Mole explains the whole situation all over again. Hearing this, she goes, yeah, I felt the sincerity in your words. Mole is pissed. The audacity of this chick pitying me. I didn't do anything wrong. You misunderstood. You guys are the ones at fault. You should be apologizing to me. Anyway, they decide to go to the police station together to officially drop the case. Before leaving, they make a plan to meet up next time to do it. Now, Mole is thinking that maybe he can actually score with this girl. See, he's a 20-year-old virgin. He's never had a girlfriend in school or college, and he barely even has friends. He's totally alone. So he views this whole bizarre situation as an opportunity sent from God, and he wants to capitalize on it. The next day, when he's heading to the police station with Misunderstanding, he gets a surprise. Glasses is there too. Mole is annoyed, thinking, great, why is this guy third-wheeling? But Glasses actually came to apologize because he also assumed the worst that night. They go to the station, clear the case, and then Glasses has to leave for some errands. Mole and Misunderstanding grab lunch. Mole is dropping pickup lines left and right, trying his absolute hardest to impress her, but every single line falls flat. He's thinking, man, if this were any other girl, she'd be throwing herself at me right now. They head home, but now they're chatting online. The next day, Misunderstanding invites him to the cafe where she works part-time. When he gets there, he meets another waitress named Lola. I know, sounds a bit sketchy, but keep it PG. He tells her Misunderstanding invited him, and she seats him. Misunderstanding comes over, and they start chatting. Suddenly, Kansai, the friend who was glaring at him before, shows up. She apologizes to him for misjudging him that night. Now, Kansai is very blunt and kind of a baddie. While talking, she keeps casually roasting Mole. This pisses Mole off because he's trying to impress Misunderstanding, but Kansai's insults are totally destroying his aura. But after talking for a bit, he realizes that even though Kansai roasts him, she's actually a really good, genuine-hearted person. Later, Misunderstanding opens up and reveals she actually had a real stalker incident in the past, which left her with a lot of trauma. That's why she freaked out so badly that night. Thinking about it makes her start crying. Kansai and Mole try to comfort her. Mole steps up and says, "Don't worry, I'll help you out however I can." She says, "Thank you, Mr. Mole." Mole is thinking the path is finally clear. They start talking a lot online. But at the same time, he also starts chatting online with Kansai, which is mostly just them arguing and fake flirting. Eventually, Kansai picks up on the fact that Mole probably likes Misunderstanding, so she decides to play wingman. Whenever she goes shopping with Misunderstanding, she starts dragging Mole along too. Over time, Mole and Kansai start talking a lot and become really good friends. One morning, they surprise him by showing up at his apartment bright and early. Kansai, Misunderstanding, and Lola. Lola is totally wasted, stumbles in, and instantly passes out on his bed. Mole is internally panicking. "Ma'am, you are currently laying exactly where all my sweat and other bodily fluids I missed with the tissues are absorbed." Kansai starts teasing him, pointing at his hairy legs. "Dude, you've got a whole crop growing on your legs." Mole realizes he's just walking around in his boxers. He drops a DBZ reference here, saying he's wearing Vegeta's son, meaning trunks. He quickly throws on some jeans. Misunderstanding has somewhere to be, so she leaves. Right after she leaves, they walk back in and see that Lola threw up on his bed in her sleep. Kansai and Mole get her up, clean the bed sheets, and wipe her down. Mole gives Lola one of his t-shirts to wear, and then they eventually head out. After that day, Mole does a lot of thinking. He finally realizes that the girl he actually likes isn't Misunderstanding. It's Kansai. He was only talking to Kansai to get closer to Misunderstanding, but he ended up falling for Kansai instead. The next day, he bumps into Lola on the street. She invites him over to her place to return his t-shirt. She sits him down and starts chatting him up. Mole is just thinking, "Just give me my shirt back, man. My Gundam episode airs at 6 o'clock. I gotta go." But she keeps rambling. Then she pulls out a game and starts playing, completely forgetting about the shirt. He looks around, sees a bunch of manga, and starts reading. Eventually, he tells her he really has to go catch his show. Lola says, "Oh, really? Just watch it on my TV," and puts it on for him. He moves closer to the TV to watch, but she doesn't have a heater, and he's shivering. Lola notices, goes to her room, and brings a blanket to wrap around him. This sweet little gesture instantly causes Mole's dark night, if you catch my drift, to rise. Yeah, guys get turned on by the weirdest, most random gestures. Lola goes to take a shower. Mole thinks, "Perfect, now I can calm my dark night down." But then he stops himself. "No, don't be a creep. I'm in someone else's house. Plus, I like Kansai. I can't get distracted by another girl." Just then, Lola calls out from the bathroom, asking him to hand her a towel. Now his dark night is fully ready for battle, and the situation is critical. He manages to hand her the towel. He tells himself, she's going to walk out in just a towel. Do not look. Do not look. But the second she steps out, he's totally staring, watching her walk to the next room. Once she's in, he creeps up to the frosted glass door trying to peek, but he can't see a damn thing. Suddenly, he realizes she's walking right toward the door. He panics, dives under her table, and hides. He's dying of embarrassment, convinced she definitely saw him being a creep. Suddenly, he feels Lola tickling his feet. He scrambles out the other side. Lola is now wearing very light clothes, showing some cleavage. The situation is escalating for him, but Lola acts like absolutely nothing happened and casually sits down. To control himself, he grabs a manga and starts reading. While he's reading, Lola comes over and sits right next to him. The tension is through the roof. After a moment of silence, Lola looks at him and says, "Aren't you going to do something?" He knows exactly what she's hinting at. She adds, "Normally, guys do something at a time like this." But an image of Kansai flashes in his mind. He replies, "Yeah, they do, but I'm not going to." They just sit there awkwardly. And once it gets late, Mole leaves. The moment he's out the door, he starts cursing himself for wasting such a massive opportunity. The next day, Mole catches a bad cold and is bedridden. He decides to call Kansai over to play nurse. While waiting for her to bring fruit and medicine, he decides to, calm his dark night down. I know, it's incredibly stupid. The guy is sick, and he's still trying to go at it. But honestly, it's a funny reality. When guys are sick, we sometimes do it twice as much for some reason. Anyway, he pulls up a spicy video on his PC and gets to work. Suddenly, Kansai knocks on the door. He scrambles to hide everything, zip up, and jumps into bed. But he's shocked when she walks in. Because Lola is with her, he's annoyed, thinking, why is she here? He's sitting in bed, but his dark night is still at full attention. They give him his medicine and fruit, hang out a bit, and leave. He had been holding back for a while, so the second they leave, he pulls the video back up and resumes his business. But suddenly, another knock at the door. He yells, "Who is it?" Guess who? Lola. He's like, why the hell is she back? Are they never gonna let my knight fight? She comes in and sits on his bed. Lola says, you know, the first time I saw you, I really liked you. And then she just drops the bomb and confesses her love for him. Mole's brain short-circuits. No girl has ever given him the time of day, and now one is confessing to him? But because he truly likes Kansai, he rejects her straight up. I like someone else. Sorry. Hearing this, she starts crying. She asks, is it because I'm not good enough for you? He says, no. It's nothing like that. I just have feelings for Kansai. That's all. She goes totally quiet and then leaves. Mole feels terrible for making her cry. The next day, his cold gets even worse. He calls Kansai over again. She brings more stuff and takes good care of him. Mole decides he's going to confess to her right then and there. But he completely loses his nerve, just sits there reading manga, falls asleep, and misses his chance. Kansai leaves. Fast forward 3 days to December 7th. Mole is fully recovered and determined to confess today. He messages Kansai and offers to treat her to sushi as a thank you for nursing him. When they get to the sushi spot, he looks at the prices and internally panics, but he can't back out now. He drops 10,000 yen feeding her. Afterward, they're walking home at night and sit on a park bench to talk. While talking, Kansai suddenly says, I found out about you and Lola. Tell me what happened between you guys. He tries to joke it off. Kansai gets serious. She was really serious about you, so why did you turn her down? Why did you hurt her feelings? He replies, because I love someone else. She yells, who? Tell me. He tells her to chill. She says, how can I chill? Tell me. Suddenly, he hugs her and says, tears don't suit your eyes. She says, I'm asking you a question. And he says, because the one I love is you, Kansai. She blushes and hugs him back. Record scratch. Okay, none of that last part actually happened. That was just Mole playing out a fantasy in his head. In reality, we're back to her asking, I know about you and Lola. Why did you turn her down? She says, so why did you turn her down? Do you really want to know the reason? You're both my friends. I don't want things to be awkward between you. After a moment of silence, Mole notices Kansai actually has tears in her eyes. Seeing this scares the crap out of him. She cries a bit, calms down, and says, she was really serious about you. She didn't even tell me directly. We were at the cafe. Your name came up, and she just broke down in tears. I think her feelings for you are incredibly genuine. Hearing this makes Mole feel insanely guilty. He gets nervous, trying to explain exactly what happened with Lola, but the wrong words tumble out of his mouth. He blurts out, the reason I didn't do Lola. Kansai catches the wording. Do? Wait, did you guys sleep together? He panics. No, nothing happened. I turned her down. He's cursing himself. I came here to confess. How did it turn into this mess? Kansai sighs and says, let's just go. It's getting late. But Mole stays glued to the bench. He knows this is his last chance. If he doesn't do it now, he never will. Kansai looks back. What's wrong? He looks at her and says, the real reason I turned Lola down is because I'm in love with someone else. And that person is you. I love you, Kansai. They just stare into each other's eyes in silence. Then, they quietly walk to their own homes. A few days pass. Kansai messages Mole to meet her at a restaurant to talk. He goes and asks, do you love me? But Kansai is super conflicted. Mole doesn't want to force it, so he plays it cool. Today is December 12th. I'll give you until Christmas. Take your time, figure it out, and tell me if you want me to be your boyfriend. Just a friend, or nothing at all. And until the 25th, let's not speak to each other. Fast forward 3 days. Mole is dying inside, desperate to talk to her. but he made a promise like an alpha male to give her space, so he bites his tongue. Instead, he messages Misunderstanding to see how things are going at the cafe. She tells him that Lola and Kansai got into a massive fight and aren't speaking to each other anymore. This hits Mole hard. He feels awful, knowing their friendship is falling apart because of him. On December 19th, Kansai calls him early in the morning. Mole is dead asleep and misses it. When he wakes up and sees the missed call, he's thrilled. This is the excuse he needed to break the no-contact rule. He calls her back and asks, "Did you make a decision? What's your answer?" She says, "No, I haven't been able to decide yet." Mole realizes it's probably because of the drama with Lola. Kansai can't just throw away her best friend for him. He tells her, "Don't stress. Whatever you decide, I'll accept it." Kansai says, "Okay, but I want to see you one more time. You can come over to my house." On December 23rd, he shows up at her place. Her parents are out, but her older brother is there. Trying to be a gentleman, Mole goes to introduce himself. Just looking at the brother terrifies Mole, but he says hello. The brother completely ignores him. Kansai flips out and yells at her brother, "Where are your manners? Someone is saying hello to you and you're ignoring them." Kansai takes Mole up to her room on the second floor. They're sitting together, and Mole says, "I love you. What is your answer?" Slowly, Kansai leans in closer. She goes in for a kiss. Mole can't believe it. "Wait, is this actually happening?" They kiss. Immediately after, Kansai asks, "Do you want to do it?" Slowly, clothes come off. They do it. They make love. After the deed is done, they get dressed. Mole says, "I love you, Kansai, and I want you to be my girlfriend." But Kansai straight up rejects him. "I'm sorry, but that can't happen." Mole is shell-shocked. "Then why the hell did we just do all of that?" She tells him, "I need to fix things with Lola first. Once that's settled, I'll give you my real answer." Mole leaves. The next day, he calls her. Hearing her voice, he instantly knows things didn't get resolved with Lola. Kansai tells him, "Maybe we shouldn't see each other anymore," and she hangs up. Mole completely loses it. He sprints to her house, but finds out she left just a little while ago. Out of options, he goes straight to Lola's house. He's there to have a very serious talk. Lola lets him in and immediately goes back to playing her video game. He says, "Look, I came here to talk about something really important. Put the game down for a second." He sits down to explain the entire situation to her and tells her that in this, Kansai